First up on the show is Emad Gerges, the owner of Simply Bookkeeping, who specializes in bookkeeping and financial analysis for businesses. Emad, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Mark. Always a pleasure.
We had a long intro. I kind of like that, though. We got more control over things now.
A little bit more discussion-based and less
moving
to it.
Less system-based. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah. We're flying by the seat of our pants here, and I like it.
Right. So really to Howie's point, in a way, where are businesses really kind of messing up on their bookkeeping? I mean, because we're doing it ourselves and we're not going to be comprehensive on it. It's just no way to do that unless we're bookkeepers to begin with. But where do you see people falling through on this type of stuff?
So, Mark, that's a great question. Business owners, they start to get into business, and as you know, they wear a lot of hats, right? And that's okay at first, but eventually as the business grows, then it's time to, like as we're talking about, start delegating some items. Two really important parts are your bookkeeping and your marketing, because no business owner, unless they're a marketing firm, actually want to do their marketing because they're, one, probably not efficient at it, or want to do their bookkeeping either because it takes a lot of time.
Which is easy to do when you're just like, okay, you got a couple of customers, you know what I mean? But when you start getting some customers, even my wife was very hesitant on bringing on a bookkeeper. She's like, I can do this myself, right? And I'm like, all right, fine. Well, we're going to keep him on around, and Jennifer's doing her stuff. But now she's like, okay, it's getting a little bit big for me. You know what I mean? And especially getting into a multiple company situation, which I know we're headed towards. It's like I'm right around the corner from adding a second company.
Exactly.
That it becomes a lot more difficult.
And understanding, I mean, sometimes it just makes more sense. A lot of business owners that own multiple companies, they say, one company's eligible for a loan that the other company needs. How do I transfer money? How do we move it around? So unless you really have a one bookkeeper to manage all your assets and all your companies, things start to get out of hand real fast, and then you lose track of everything.
I was starting to get stressed out there when you just were going through that description.
I think one of the most powerful things in business is having someone that you can go to for the answers instead of having to figure it out yourself down the Google rabbit hole. And then we just talked about it with Keaton. You can't really go off of everything you find on Google because it may not be reliable. So having one person to call to answer your questions about your finances, I mean, that's huge. How often are your clients reaching out to you and asking you questions like that?
I would say at least once a month, at least.
Per client.
Wow.
And we try to, me and my team as well, we try to reach out to our clients at least on a weekly basis if there's questions to be asked, but at least once a month, we're always in communication. And that also, helps keep the relationship healthy as well. Let them know, hey, your business is going great. Here's some things you got to look out for. And so it kind of keeps them in the know.
How are you handling growth? Because I know you're growing, because it's everybody, and I know you know this too. It's like everywhere we go, we're hearing about Emad. It's like he's taken over, San Antonio. Mm-hmm. How are you handling the growth?
I'm going to use a term here that Heather really likes, and I will tell you it's systems. Absolutely. Systems, we write it down. Everyone knows their role. A new client comes in, they know A, B, C, and D. Here's what we take care of. It's almost all automated, but everyone knows their role.
Right. Automated, not as in AI, but as in personal service and systems, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Onboarding, it's important. We have a system also for onboarding clients, and you're right. And you know what? So far, of all the people I referred to Emad, they've all said, oh my God, he's great. And kind of like you, Mark, somebody at their company was hesitant to hire him. And one of my clients, big company, had a bookkeeper in-house for about 20 years. And she took early retirement because Emad replaced her. So,
and it helps from keeping things getting missed, right? Especially as you're mentioning, as a speed of growth starts to increase, you want to make sure that quality still stays strong and that nothing is missed. So that's a big point of it as well.
All right, you better be keeping an eye on my finances.
I was going to say, if you're building everything based off of systems and everybody's doing these systems the same way, how easy does that make to track what you guys are doing?
Extremely easy. And it is very efficient that the whole team knows exactly what's going on. So if for any reason someone needs help or we bring someone new, it's not necessarily that I have to directly train that new person, but the team also kind of comes in and helps that new person out as well, because everything's systematic.
That's what I found very helpful because I've got 12, just about to be 14 virtual assistants on my team. And we have an internal training process now where virtual assistants training other virtual assistants. It's a good system. And then we have oversight. So that's another thing too. Is do you? I imagine you're probably the person, maybe I don't know, that is doing the auditing. Is not the right word, but it's kind of an auditing, or so keeping an eye on the shop to make sure that things are being done the right way. Who is that in your organization?
Exactly. Great question. So we do have a project manager. So every project manager looks over the team, has a certain number of team members that they manage, and they're constantly making sure that that's where their quality control is being taken care of. And if anything, for any reason, comes to me, then I know that, okay, this is something that's probably pretty urgent because it just went through 2 filters of people just to get to me.
What's your growth strategy then? So switch gears just a little bit. How are you? I know you're networking,
Right.
but how are your customer acquisition? Is it accelerating or no?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And how are you accelerating it?
From within, but also a big portion of it is marketing, which I know we'll touch up on that here in about a second. But marketing is a big part, especially in the beginning. It's okay, referrals, build your business, great, but then you've got to have a better approach for consistent growth, and that's always going to be through marketing.
Okay. So what's Howie doing for you? You keep pointing to Howie.
Well,
What are you
Howie,
doing for him? You're not doing for me, Howie.
Howie actually helps us manage our websites, make sure that our leads, our SEOs, that we're being found on Google, Yelp, all the other websites that were out there, and making sure that everything's kind of monitored so that there's no bad reviews being put out there. Everything's controlled, and that everything's up to date.
Yeah, you want to capture all your listings. Yelp, Manta being all the ones that you think are not important, but still come up on searches. You want to claim them. So we claim them on our client's behalf. That way somebody else doesn't claim them or they don't stay unclaimed. And then once they're claimed, you can monitor them. And if somebody puts up some kind of review, some competitor that's mad because he must growing too fast and he's getting too many clients.
Yeah.
I think
BS
that's
review, then we can look at that.
That's an interesting. I mean, we're kind of seeing it on a non-business standard through Twitter right now with all those blue check marks. All these random people are going in and they're stealing
Well, now
those.
they've been eliminated.
What do you mean?
So Elon Musk said that they were going to do away with those blue check marks. They were selling them for a while. Twitter was using it as a revenue.
Yeah, it was $8 a month
It's
for a
such
blue check mark.
But look.
I think he's just trolling people.
Yeah,
He's getting them all upset. I don't know.
right. Well, when you have that kind of money, they're like the whales in that they call the casino, the big gamblers. When you have super deep pockets, it almost doesn't matter. At some point, that company, Twitter, is going to be worth more than he paid for it. And then he'll make money just because it's right now such a mess. But there's a lot of attention. So there's a phrase in public relations that says, I don't care what you say about me as long as you spell my name correctly. Yeah. And so no publicity, even bad publicity is good publicity. So.
All right, Imad. So what else you got going on over at bookkeeping? I know we just finished up tax season. So
Absolutely.
what's like first on next up to bat, I guess?
Yeah. So the next part now that everyone's gotten the whole tax debacle over, now's the growth stage. So now's when we really start helping clients. Okay. So now between May and the end of the year, December, now's when we want to focus in. Okay, what are your selling strategies? What's making you your best on, like, what are your ROIs? Where are your strongest selling products, services? And then vice versa, where are your expenses going to? Is it making sense? Can we delegate things out? How can we make your business more efficient? So we like to do those analytics on the business itself just to kind of see how we can also help them be able to grow as well. That's also a massive thing that really helps business owners.
So you're turning this machine on for your clients now. You're doing those analytics now, or you're just doing the reporting? Explain that. So are you preparing reports for your clients now so that they can take a look at that data?
Right. So reports are always given out regardless of the month. So every single month, each business owner, they get their reports so that they understand on their own what's going on within their business. Where are their expenses going? Where are their profits coming from? That's really important, especially as you grow as a business. You start implementing point of sale systems. And so you want to make sure, okay, where are your sales coming from and how is it helping my business? But as we kind of go through, some businesses have slower stages, some have faster stages or hot seasons. It's really important to understand, okay, how are we going to target the slow seasons for it to make sense in my business and not slow cash flow or production?
Yeah. We got to have the data in order to make good decisions.
Yeah, I think just having that clarity of once you've been in business a while, I feel like the first few years of a business are hustle. You just hustle for everything that you get. You make as much money as you can. And when you get to the point where you're making money, you have to stop and look at it and say, where am I making money the most efficiently? And where do I need to focus my time and activity?
Yeah, and whose butt do you need to kiss? Because I always look at my top 10 revenue clients. And, if I have some tickets to the Spurs or something else, guess who gets them?
Yeah.
Top 10 clients.
80-20 rule.
Yeah, if all of your clients were like your favorite clients, what would your business and life be like?
That is an excellent point, because we also use that to create marketing strategies, because we say, what would an ideal client look like? And we do that by profiling the current clients that they have that our customers say are their best clients. And then we go out and market to try to find clients like those for them.
Well, so how are you doing that? I mean, what do you have somebody that does that for you? Do you do it yourself?
We all work on it at the office, but it's really most of the formulation of the strategy comes from my brain, because I've been in marketing for 35 years. I was trained by the best. I worked for Procter & Gamble in consumer products marketing after getting a marketing degree from UT Business School. And then I worked for an international ad agency for a couple of years, working on only multinational clients. And then, I was in my mid-20s and I knew everything. So then I decided to become self-unemployed after that.
I thought you knew everything at 16. I don't know what I'm going through with my daughter. Where's she at? I don't know. All right, Imad, if folks want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Absolutely. Best way is to call either myself or one of our team members at 832-518-9368. Again, that's 832-518-9368. Or you can check out our website at simplybookkeeping.com. And again, that's simply with an I, not a Y. Thanks,
Awesome.
Mark.
Thanks, Imad. Always a pleasure, sir. All right, so Howie, since you talk so much in Imad's segment, Imad's going to have a big portion of your set. I'm just kidding.
We're gonna hammer it out.
Let me cut the mic off.
Love it.